I am really excited to have this conversation. I think a lot of you will be inspired by their resilience. Joining us, Neo and his wife, Crystal, from their home. Thank you both for joining us.
Hi.
You
How
know,
you
I have
doing?
to say, before we get to the difficult parts, the tumultuous Instagram posts and all of those things, from my heart, I find your story to be so sweet. I do. I've read so much about you, Crystal, and Neo, and how you were both raised. And I really wanted to unpack the relationship before we get to the breakup and how she inspired you. You guys, you met during a casting. I guess it was a mini movie for your song, Neo, nonfiction, chart-topping song. You were newly singled at the time. Were you looking to rebound from a breakup? Were you looking for love? Where were you mentally?
No, I was not looking for love at all. The joke that I normally tell is that I was happily single at the time. I had been with the mother of my first two children, Monietta Shaw, for a little while. We had been split up for about a year and a half before me and Crystal ever ran into each other.
So
But
no rebounds.
yeah, no. So it definitely wasn't a rebound. I realized that I had been kind of in and out of relationships like back to back to back all the way up to Monietta Shaw. So when we split, I told myself, let me really take some time to just be
Yeah.
single and figure out what it is I even want. You know what I mean?
That's
So when I
interesting you
met
say
Crystal, I
that,
was
Neil, because so
yeah,
often we hear women say they needed that break. I need to spend some time taking care of me before I can go on to a relationship. But here you are, a young, hugely successful man. You're saying the thing that so many of us think. I need this me time before I jump into something else. Crystal, I
yeah.
think you
Because if you don't take that me time, then you bring all your baggage into your next relationship. You know what I mean? So I had to
absolutely.
I had to chill out a little bit.
You needed
Yeah.
to chill. So, Crystal, you're there on set. I think you already know the work that I do with survivors of domestic violence. And this is why I wanted you here today, because I think a lot of people don't know your story. They know you as Neo's beautiful wife. You had been in an abusive relationship. You'd been living on your own in Vegas, working to support yourself pretty much your entire life. You weren't looking to be famous. You were looking for a check. You were there on site for the job, not for the
Right.
man. But you would come in with a lot of pain in your life.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, that is something that I probably have never talked about up until just recently.
Mm.
Yeah, I didn't know we were going to talk about that.
Well, that's what, listen,
Yeah, I was in a
on this show,
relationship.
Crystal, we say, let's talk about it. And I know he is saying in his relationship, he was spending some me time. He needed to get to know himself. You're on this video set. You're not there to meet Neo, the world famous star. You're there because you needed
To
the
work.
job. You were there to work.
Right. Right. Well, um, it kind of already started like with instant like trying to get at me and trying to meet me before the job and all that kind of stuff. So I avoided him up until the day of the actual job and kind of left him waiting for me for almost 3 hours
Hmm.
to meet about this quote unquote role that I never got to do. So it just from the beginning kind of just started like a romance. I don't know.
I'm sure you were protecting your heart.
Oh, absolutely. I still, in some ways, have my guard up with just everybody, but he has a way of like breaking that down and
Yeah.
like getting to the core and the root and trying to like help you fix those things and
Yeah.
like heal from them.
Yeah.
And that was the first person that ever like cared to, you know, want to know about that kind of stuff.
Neo, when Crystal told you that she survived this domestic abuse, that she nearly lost her life were it not for a police officer who saved her, who found her badly abused. When she told you that, I know you related to your own childhood and what you'd seen in your past. This story sounded familiar to you.
Mm.
What happened to you in your past that resonated with what you heard from her?
Well, my mom and dad's relationship was toxic to say the least. I witnessed a lot of domestic abuse in the household. So my mom has been my hero pretty much my entire life. She's the strongest woman in the world, and just seeing the things that she went through, and then hearing this from Crystal, it struck a nerve. You know what I'm saying? It was something familiar, I went into, I won't necessarily say rescue mode, because she didn't really need rescuing. You know what I mean? It's like she's not a weak person at all. And that was one of the things that attracted me to her, was despite the fact that, she had been through some negative things in her past, she wasn't allowing it to break her or hold her back from, what it is she wanted, her dreams and aspirations, and just living life, period. I know of people that have gone through similar situations and allowed it to be kind of that wall, that stands in the way of anything else that you want to do, be it fear, be it whatever the case may be. And she wasn't that person. Even when she told me about it, it wasn't a story of, it wasn't a, oh, woe is me story. It was a victory story. You know what I mean? It was, this happened, and just grateful that you now have a person in your life that, first and foremost, would never do anything like that to you, and secondly, is not looking at you from a standpoint of pity. You know what I mean? That's not.
Which is why she
about.
became your inspiration. That's why she
Exactly.
became, in so many ways, your muse. Neo, in February, you got on a podcast and you declared that the relationship was over. You said your demons don't mesh with Crystal's. What happened? What, as a woman, you always think, why is he doing this to her? So I'm asking you what actually happened versus the immediate reaction to it.
Right. So the reason that I went ahead and made it known on that podcast at the time is because I had gotten word that it had gotten out, and I was trying to get in front of the blogs and everybody. I've always hated the whole third person thing. I was like if I don't hear it from the horse's mouth, I don't believe it. So I decided to get in front of it before it became rumor and accusation and all kind of extras put on it. The bottom line is what I meant by our demons don't mesh is that there's not a perfect person walking the face of this planet. Okay, I have my issues. She definitely had her issues, and at the time we just weren't in a place where we could be. What's the word I'm looking for? We weren't in a place where we could help each other through our issues. You know what I mean?
You couldn't be together.
My issues became a reason for us to not be together, and as did hers. So that's what I meant when I said our demons didn't mesh. Everybody has demons. Everybody's fighting a demon of some sort, and ours just weren't allowing us to be together at the time.
Crystal, what was the first week like? I mean, were you walking on eggshells? I don't normally ask a question like this, but since y'all are in your bedroom and you're moving, this is their actual bedroom. Was he allowed in the bedroom the first week?
I could not get him out of the bedroom.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it.
I was like, go in the basement, go downstairs to the couch, go to your mama's house, please, go somewhere but here. And he just refused to leave. And it was just like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? If you won't leave, what's the reason? Like, you filed for a divorce. I left, you filed for a divorce. We're still cohabitating. Like, what's going on? And we started talking, and I don't know, we worked it out. And
which of you realized first, or which of you said first that this is worth fighting for? Because you're in the bedroom. That is not a very big bed. So I'm assuming there's not a lot of space between you. And which of you looked and said, okay, we're not going to play house here. We're going to build a house. We're going to build a home together. Which of you stepped out on faith of the relationship first?
I can honestly say that though I had to a degree, put on a face for the public, I did not want to get divorced. I was really, really broken up about it. But I felt like I couldn't show that to the world. I couldn't show that to the world. My pride wouldn't allow me to show it to her initially. But I think she kind of knew where I was at.
He filed for divorce, came home, and asked what was for dinner.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever your mama's cooking, I don't know what to tell you.
Crystal was like, KFC, but nothing here. I love
exactly.
That. Well, you know what?
So I was like, well, you got to get up out of here. I don't know what you're doing, player. And So he was like, I'm gonna leave for the weekend, but I'll be back on Monday. And it was like,
Mhm.
it's just like, what's the
And
point?
I came right
Well-
back, and it just didn't feel. It didn't feel right. It didn't make any sense to
Right.
me. It didn't make any sense to me. I was like, this is what we've been forever. We don't know. Again, we don't know what this thing is. We could be gone tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I'm not about to waste what could potentially be maybe our last moments together, not together. I'm not
Yeah,
doing that. I'm
I
not doing
understand
that.
that.
I'm going where my home is. I'm going where my heart is, and that was it.